Okay, I'm back. I'm going to show a little bit more about what I was talking about in some of my other videos. I explained it a little bit better. This right here is a Pex. It's a poly to Pex fitting, and I don't know how well you can see, but on this end right here, you can see that the ribs are farther apart, and there's less of them. And on this side, the ribs are closer together, and there's more of them. The side that's got them farther apart and less of them, that's Pex side, and the end that's got more ribs and closer together, that's your poly side. And if you put them on there, you just put the Pex on the Pex end, the poly on the poly end, and I don't have a out in the van. It's out in the van, but I don't have a crimp ring for the poly side. But it's a lighter color ring, and then you just put it on there and use the crimper to crimp it down. And on the Pex side, you would just slide it up and get it an 1/8 to 1/4 inch from the end, and crimp it down. And hold on just a minute, and I'll demonstrate how I like to do it. There's different ways you have to do this. There's the crimper. Get a hold of the top part of the handle, open it up and pull it back, and it opens up the jaws. And I like to put my ring up in there, and then I let it close. Close around the ring. And up here at the end, you can see that little cutout of the bottom part of the jaw, and then a little extension out on the top part. I try to line those up as close as I can to the center of the ring. Now sometimes you just have to put the ring on there and then put it around there before you crimp it, but if I can do it this way, I like to do this. That way I get my ring set. And you don't close down the handle, and then I just work it up to where it's like an 1/8 or 1/4 of an inch. 1/8 to 1/4 from the end, and then you squeeze the handle all the way closed, and then you let off, hold the handle up, pull back on it, jaws open up, it releases it, then you got your crimp. And I didn't get a chance to show this the other day. I didn't have it with me right then, but after each and every crimp, they have what they call a go no-go gauge. Now this is the set I use the most. The smallest, it's got two on that end, 2 on that end, and then 2 in the middle. The smallest is 3/8. The middle size is 1/2 inch. The largest is 3/4. As you can see, it says no go over one and go over the other one. So what you do is, once you complete your crimp, for this it would be the 1/2 inch. So it would be these two right here, the middle size. The no-go should not go over the crimp ring at all, and the go side should go all the way over it. If they do not do that, then you have to do it over. I've also got another one that I've misplaced. I was trying to find it. That on it, if it don't go on there at all, it's bad. If it goes on all the way, it's bad. To be good, it goes on there halfway. But on this one, there's only these two, and it's if the no-go shouldn't go on there at all, and the go needs to go on there all the way down. So on the no-go side, take it and put it over it. As you can see, I'm spinning it all the way around and it's not going up in there. And then on the go side, as you can see, it went all the way down. Which means that is a good crimp. If it don't do on the go no go, if it goes on the no go side, or it won't go on all the way on the go side, it's bad. You have to get your pipe cutter and cut as close to the end of the fitting and the ring as you can. Then use the ring cutter that I showed you in the other videos to cut it off and redo it. And the same, the go no gauge, it works on the PEX side and the poly side. Okay, hang on, I'll be right back with you. Alright, here I bought me some, got me another supply of the Pro Crimp rings. Like you said, it's just, what it is sorry about that. As you can see, it's the regular crimp ring, but you can see what's added to it. And see, when I put them up there together, you can see it's the orange and yellow plastic fitting. Like I said, it's the correct distance from the end of the pipe. And you see it right here. This little piece right here and the little piece right here at the bottom, those little edges is what catch. So when you take your pipe and you bring it up and slide it over it and slide it down, it stops right there. It won't go past the end of it. And then you would get whatever fitting you're using and slide it in there all the way. And as you can see, it ain't going nowhere then. You can do what you want to. That ring ain't moving. It's at the right place. You just crimp it, you're done, and go. And I want to show these right here too, something I use often. A lot of times I run into people that's got PVC, cpvc piping, and they want me to change it to PEX, or I explain how much better PEX is, and they want me to do it. So I just, if they want it all done or just the majority of it or whatever, but if you want to go from, just like going from poly to PEX, if you want to go from cpvc or PVC to PEX, you get these fittings right here. As you can see the inside of it, that's cpvc up inside there. And you take a piece of, I don't have no PVC with me right now. It's back at the shop, so I'm just going to use a piece of PEX just for demonstration purposes only. You put your cleaner around it, you put your cleaner in here, and then you put your glue around it, you put your glue in there, and then you slide it all the way up in there, and then you turn it. When you turn it, that is spreading the glue and it's forcing all the air out also. And then the other end is for PEX. You would take your Pro ring, slide it on, and slide your fitting up in there all the way. It's not cut good on the end, so it's not wanting to go up in there all the way on that one. Hang on just a minute. There. You would slide your Pro crimp ring on the PEX pipe, and then slide the fitting up in there, and be glued on one end, crimped on the other. You go from PVC, cpvc to PEX. Like I said, my Pro crimp rings, I get them at Lowe's. They're Apollo PEX section. Those cpvc to PEX fittings, I get them from Sioux Chief Manufacturing Company. They're located in Peculiar, Missouri, and their web address is www.siouxchief.com, and it's a copper PEX by cpvc adapter. That was a 1/2 inch by 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch PEX to 1/2 inch CPVC. They also have a 800 number, 1-800-821-3944. You can contact them and order them from them. You might can find it local or whatever. I've always found it easier to do it this way, and that's the way I do it. I know what I'm getting and what I've gotten used to. Okay, let's see. What else? I don't remember if I showed this in the other one or not. This is the quarter turn ball valve. PEX on this end, and on this end right here, as you can see, it's just a 3/8 inch compression. Toss the nut and the ferrule and thread it on, and then it's flexible braided stainless steel. It's a little bit dirty or whatever because it's this one I took off another unit, and then as you faucet in, thread it on, and it's got a little rubber washer up in there. Works like a charm. You ain't gonna have no leaks, you ain't gonna have no problems. And just to give a little better explanation to AV treasures on these, when you cut the flooring out, then you cut your piece of plywood, and that's what I use all the time on my floors. I don't use none of the other stuff. Some of the other stuff you can get, it's alright for different projects or whatever, but on the floors, I want them to hold. I want them to be resistant to water and moisture and stuff, so I only use plywood, treated plywood, and you go back with the size that matches up with what they had. But if it's in a section where I like to use 3/4 inch. You just cut it to the size of your opening, and then like I said, anywhere that you're gonna have the like on this section right here, on this piece right there, anywhere that the new floor is going to be buttoned up against the old floor, if it's opened up in between joists underneath, then you put a brace in there between the floor joists. You can nail it in, screw it in, and then you can screw down from the top into it, and that'll hold it from being weak. Sometimes, like on these over here, I had to, instead of having the 2x4 upright, I had to make it flat. And you can also see up under these, in some places, you can see where I've had to screw in a small piece of plywood, and then set the support on top of that, and then screw down into the small brace up under the support piece to hold it in place. And you can also hang on just a minute, and let me show you this. Sometimes, depending on where you're at, like if you cut out, now on this one here, I ended up having to, because it was as often is in manufactured housing, the spacing is off, and it was going to be a waste of too much wood to do it any other way. And behind the toilet, there's not going to be no traffic around there, so this was fine to have this coming out. But what you will do often, if you don't have too much of a distance, you can let me set this up, and if there's a little bit of shakiness, I apologize for that. I got me a tripod to try to help me out a little bit, and it's taking a little bit of getting used to. But if you cut your flooring out all the way up even with the wall, and you don't have a floor joist coming across right there at the wall sticking out for you to screw down into, what you can do is, say this is the dark part is your floor joist. you can take a new piece of 2x4 and cut it the length you need it, and either nail it or screw it to that to give you something sticking out from the wall. And if it's back up in there too far, sometimes you might have to go as far as putting 2 or 3. You do the first one, then you come along, you do a second one, maybe even a third one. Nail them and screw them until you get the piece to stick out so that you've got something to screw the new floor down into along that seam. And when I'm doing these, if I use my nailers, I've got air nailers and I've got airless nailers, whichever way I need to go. But if I'm using my nailers, all of my screws, nails, whatever I buy, I always buy for treated wood. That way, if it's treated, it's good, and if it's not treated, it still works. And I always get, if it's nails, whether it's for the nail gun or to be hammering them in the old-fashioned way. I don't know if you can see the threads on that or what, but I always get ring shanked. Ring shanked, hot galvanized dipped, or treated for use with treated lumber. And I try to get full heads. Sometimes you got to get the clipped head, that's all I got, but I always try to get full heads. That's for your nailer. And then just regular nails to hammer in. They're also ring shanked. I don't think you're gonna be able to see the threads, but they're there. So trust me. And or screws. And if I use screws, I always get the ones with the star head. That way you ain't gonna be stripping it out and reaming it out and either messing up your bit or messing up your screw head. You stick your star Torx head down in there and it ain't going nowhere. And I try to use screws most of all, as much as possible, because they're not going to pop back up on you if the weather or anything makes your wood bulge or move or contract or anything like that. You ain't gonna have to worry about it. And inside your home, it's not that big of a, not much big of a deal, because I mean your home's better weather. But if you're outside doing a deck or whatever, you would really want to watch that. Because it ain't just the weather, it can be walking on it can make it do that also. And then when I'm ready to put it down, I always take construction adhesive and just run a bead backwards and forward like a snake all the way down it, and then put your flooring down and mash it down on it good, and then nail it or screw it down. That will hold it good and help stop all the squeaking that you might hear otherwise when you walk on that floor. And works really well. And when you're done, I always try to screw down into the wood a little ways with the screw. I try to get the head to go down below the floor, and then I'm on the nails too. And if they don't go down enough, I might have to tap them a little bit with a punch to get them down a little bit more, and then I fill that little area in with some wood putty, let it dry, and sand it down smooth before I go back with the floor. And like on this one right here is going to have vinyl flooring. A lot of times on vinyl flooring, you've got to put down something on top of the wood floor. A lot of them companies will not honor their warranty if you don't. And when that's the case, I usually put down a 1/4 inch piece of Luan. I don't know how you pronounce it. I just I know what I'm getting when I go in there. But Luan, L-U-A-N, I think's how you spell it. I put that down, and then I put the flooring on top of it, because it's smooth and there ain't no dentions in it, and it's ready to go. And if you're in, especially in manufactured housing, mobile homes or whatever, if you're putting down vinyl flooring or whatever, I always go with seamless sheets, because you got that, and then you got your wood floor is all you've got between you and that insulation. And if the insulation gets wet, you have to take it out and replace it, because it loses its insulating value, not to mention the mold, the mildew, and the smell you're going to have. So that's a good way to try to protect it from the top, and from the bottom you try to keep your skirting intact. Try not to have water running up against your house. And then underneath your house you should have 6 mil polyplastic down over the entire area of the floor underneath your home, and then keep your underbelly sealed up. I'll try to have some more on that later in some more videos. Hope this has been helpful, and hope you've enjoyed. I went over my limit here, so I'm going to have to break this up into 2 sections, but I'll take care of that. They'll all be together, and this will either be one, this is probably going to be 2 videos, might even end up being 3, I don't know, because I've got quite a few shots already before this one. Anyway, hope you enjoy. Thanks for watching. Please comment, any suggestions, advice, whatever, anything. I welcome whatever you got to say. And I'll talk to you later. Y'all take care. Bye.